NERDSoul.
Lay ill kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing this StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Man, look, hey, if you a vampire, we ain't trying to see you right now, because we getting into some Castlevania. That's right, thumbnails. We all up on it. Netflix doing anything, and we not by ourselves. We are joined by emissary of comic books down in the South. I give to you, Coop of Blerd-ish. What's up?
Emissary, all right.
Well, I mean, I try, I do what I can.
I'll be like Japanese Spider-Man, the emissary from hell. But I ain't from hell, y'all. I bring peace, love, and blessings, and joy, and tidings.
All right, see, that's what's up. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? A little something for the people.
You know,
so,
man.
Of course, we talking about Castlevania. My brother, could you break down what we're going to be getting in today?
Let me do this real quick. And first of all, also, you can catch this at blerd-ish.com and multiple platforms all over. Yo, I know we don't usually do this for anime-ish, but since the season has come and gone, like a whiplash, like
I mean, it's still kind of here. I mean,
it's here. It's just like you can actually go back and absorb it again. I just want to give some heft to it, just a breakdown of the synopsis for those who ain't familiar with what's going on with Castlevania. Of course, we're 300 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And this is adapted from two different things. So I just want to read a smidge. I promise y'all ain't gonna get used to this. Mike already didn't threaten me. But I'm joking. But yeah, the game, of course, based on a video game series. And this story, this season is adapted. And the future seasons with Richter, it's adapted from the 1993 entry Castlevania Rondo of Blood and the sequel Symphony of the Night. It's set during the 1792, during the French Revolution, and follows Richter Belmont, the current descendant of the Belmont family, and of course other vampire hunters like his adoptive sister, Maria Renard, and of course her mother. And Maria is also a very popular character in the game. Of those two games, very important character. So that's what's pretty much going on. That's the setup of what's going on with this new series. So people sometimes ask, do you need to technically watch the other series? Technically, no. It's not an absolute must, but it's almost a must to give you the kind of vibe that's going on with this show, in my opinion.
I will say this one thing I like about this. The way that they're handling Castlevania, you don't have to watch the other season to really know. Like, this isn't it's not a situation where like HBO Watchmen, where they were like, you don't need to watch anything, and it's like, no, actually you do need to watch the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but in this situation, you actually don't. Like, you could come in and watch this season and never watch this show and never watch the other Castlevania and still be okay.
Watchmen, you didn't even need to watch the movie. Screw that movie. You actually needed to read the book. Like, you needed to know that book. The movie kinda, but you needed that book. That was like a direct sequel to the book. Watchmen went deep.
Yeah, when they were like, you don't need anything before. I was watching. I was like, yes, you do.
You needed all of that. You needed like a whole case study to understand why that world was screwed up.
Yeah, there were so many references to to the movie, or I guess the comic book, because I've never read the comic book, but I've seen the movie, and like, without the movie, I would assume many people would be lost or asking a lot of questions.
Man, I'm shocked you have not read that comic book. I know it kind of looks old and a little moldy, but I'm telling you. Well, I would say if you can, one day, watch it, read it, then watch the series again, and you'll just see how, like, why it's even better that this show is good with the people. That's why I was blown away. I was like, oh my goodness. Because I know we're rabbit holing, but it did set up the question of where that book from and all those crazy people who got old boy's notebook. And they do have a panel in the comic book where I think it's after he's dead, they got a hold of it or something, or just like it just left it for future generations. And then they asked the question, what would happen if somebody got Horseshack notes? And the world went nuts.
Yeah. So with I do have a video game question. So, what one game is what? Symphony of the Night?
It's one basically the game that preceded Symphony Night. Rondo of Blood. Sometimes I think it's called Dracula X. Either one of them is called Dracula X in different languages of Japan, but generally it's called Rondo of Blood, and then there's Symphony of the Night. And
So,
basically,
Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night.
and basically with these two, and I'm gonna just say this: these two games, minus even say, I think Rondo came out before what we know as Super Castlevania for the SNES. Technically, that Super Castlevania 4 is really just a re-imaging of the original Castlevania. When they explain the timeline, they start doing some like some retconny funniness, smidge, but for video game industry things, and Nintendo is just like, all right, just make this 4 because everybody knows this history of the release of the game. But Rondo of Blood came out before, but Richter is, of course, a descendant of Simon. We didn't have Simon in the thing yet, but we all started with Simon. Trevor was his predecessor. So it's Trevor, Simon, and then Richter. And then another character we're going to get into that if you've seen the last season, he's around. But basically, Rondo... The critical acclaim for Rondo of Blood, Symphony Night, especially Symphony of the Night, but both of them, Symphony of the Night and Super Metroid, these two games have created a whole genre that prevails to this day called Metroidvania. What they created in those two games are a standard. If you're going to make a game of this, you got to refer to those two games. So that's how important these two kind of pieces of IP is for Castlevania fans, video game fans, Konami. Konami made so much money off these games, they don't even got to make games no more. They make casino stuff and other things, and re-releases just to be petty, despite the new Ninja Turtle creator. They were like, all right, we still got the license for the old ones. Package it up. Could have been did this. But don't let me start on Konami. But still, they got legendary stuff. So that's why these stories are just beloved, because the games was so deep and story driven, which Castlevania kind of already was from part 2 on up through 3 and 4 and 5, and then they just got more and more and more even through the Game Boy Advance series, where it really took all the stuff from like Symphony of the Night and just kept it going to the kind of phased out a smidge.
Okay, because I was someone who was around at that time, but I never got to play these games.
I didn't get to play it either, but just kind of, I actually learned all of this more so when Castlevania, the first anime, came out, and I jumped into the lore and pulled the timeline together to read it. It's like, oh, when you figure that out, I was like, that's what I say. We can have each series of Castlevania probably can have up to 3 to 4 years of each series, whatever they choose to do.
Okay, cool. Because all I had, let's see, the only game I had that was similar that of course I fell in love with was Ninja Gaiden. I had that. That was my heart back then. But Castlevania, unfortunately, I'm saying, my Dukes didn't buy it for your boy, so I ain't had it. But we still have probably I think it's still safe to say we have one of the best, if not the best, video game adaptation right here on Netflix.
Absolutely. Oh, and I just want to give a shout out to you. I know you play this game. Dead Cells is a descendant, if you want to say a cousin.
They even did a DLC with Castlevania.
A descendant of Castlevania and the lore and the whole play style of a Metroidvania. So that's why it just fit to bring Castlevania into it, right on in.
Yeah, they did that DLC. I haven't copped that DLC, but when I get everything set up, I'm gonna make a real run at trying to finish Dead Cells. But yeah, I love that game. That game is tons of fun. But anyway, guys, of course, that's the game side. You know what I'm saying? Continue on with the show because there's more stuff that you can break down from the show on the show side.
And look, like I said, the show is going to be adapted from those. We meet Richter. Shout out to Netflix for dropping them 7 minutes during the drops, as they called them.
Yeah.
I love how they, like me and you were talking, they have learned to kind of get to the point. Now, that ain't saying that nothing is ever wasted in Castlevania. But if I will say this, what they have taken from the last series is that they expect you to kind of know what the hell is going on. And it's really simple. Family of Belmonts, whether if they cursed or not, they seem to have gotten a little bit more respect because I guess vampires are just ever more present. But it's not a lot of Belmonts out there, because if you fight vampires, well, a couple of things happen. Either you're going to die, you probably be driven mad,
or it's a hard life,
driven to sorrow, and that's if they don't want to turn, if they don't want to beat you and then turn you. But more than likely, they don't seem to want to turn Belmonts. They seem to want to just kill them and lord over them and just laugh at it. Or they laugh at you because you washed up. Either way, if you a Belmont, you kind of, hate to say it, kind of cursed.
Well, in my view, I'm always wondering if someone will be smart enough to say, hey, if we're the family that kills vampires, and we don't know of any other families that do, in Castlevania, the idea is that the Belmont line kills vampires. We don't really hear of any names of like any other vampire killing families. It's like the Jacksons, and that's it. I mean, at least with the Jacksons, you had like the Silvers. Now the Silvers, they weren't like super dope, but Silvers, they had some hits. You know what I'm saying? Like don't sleep. So it's like, but in this, it's just the Belmonts. I always wondered why, and I know this sounds very, very calculated and maybe not too romantic, but there should be at least one Belmont couple that's like, all right, our job is to just, have a Jackson family. All right, because we need Belmonts. All right, so we gonna have to, have to create Belmonts. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Because every time I turn around, it's like I'm the last Belmont all by myself. I'm like, well, why ain't y'all? Didn't nobody have twins? Like, ain't nobody like who in the family is gonna be the one that had like 13 kids?
Well, this is it though. They kind of like there's probably like a few cousins and offshoots spread about, but then you like the bloodline probably gets weaker. The ability to use, like, they didn't really go into it in the game lore. You kind of need to be a pure Belmont to really use the Morning Star Whip, and even if you do use it, it's supposed to condemn you. Like, you're not getting out of this if you touch the Morning Star Whip, because it is possessed by a young virgin girl who had to be burned to be created. Yes, it gets nuts. And that was in the Nintendo 60. Yeah, it was wow. I was like, oh. So that's why the Morning Star Whip is so powerful and feared, because it is pure of this. But that's the drawback. You use it, you're supposed to suffer.
You're gonna be dead.
And generally, yeah, it's maybe short your life or whatever, but being a Belmont is cursed. Because remember we met Trevor, he was excommunicado, which means
ain't nobody feeling him back then.
Wasn't nobody, he was probably, could get ladies or whatever, but he was a drunk. Most of his family was either dead or they were scattered to the wind. He didn't even know how to find, he had to go search for his family home. He kind of didn't have no home. Like, he was just out there, and his family was just like, whatever. And again, you fight vampires, you get old, you're not immortal. You get old, you get slow, they just stay stronger, they keep producing.
Yeah, Father Time gets you, you know what I'm saying?
Either you're going to give it up, go into hiding, you're crazy, mad, or you're dead. So, especially you don't even get to go to the church if, let's say, if the church was not evil somewhat, but then the church don't want you. But, in fact, the church is kind of always a problem, because the N64 one or whatever, really showed how Dracula came to be, because he was a soldier for the church, and he was mad at him because of the war, and
Dang.
wife died, and he went and set a whole thing in motion to steal a powerful vampire's powers and to get more powerful. So he chose that life.
All right, well, you know what? I'm gonna jump into that first. The church. I want to talk about the church real quick. It is I guess no secret that in Castlevania, the church, whew, they'll never be helping y'all out, yo. They'll like usually like in your mind, you're like, oh man, church, I can go there, get my pray on, you know what I'm saying? Find, a helping hand, a shoulder to lean on, someone to not in Castlevania, boy. In the old one and in this one. Castle, they be doing the most bad.
At best, you might find a cup like the only thing the church seems to have is that it can produce holy water. Other than that, and it has to be somebody kind of still good to do it, and they have to have, I guess, a worthwhile prayer. Because I remember what Trevor like said, dump this right here, and Father like bless it, and then he was able to attack with it. So yeah, you do need the church, unfortunately, for these. You do need some of them, because
I mean, in the first one, you had the priest. He was like summoning demons or making deals with demons or whatever. And in this one, the abbot, we meet the abbot. Before we even meet the abbot, Maria is like, I don't like them. I don't want to go up there. But when we meet him, he seems kind of like snooty, but it seems like, all right, he's snooty. You know what I'm saying? He upper echelon, because back then priests was, they was paid. Well, I mean, priests paid now, but that's a whole nother issue. We ain't going there.
I mean, he was kind of, you were part of like right under royalty.
Yeah, you were like part of the aristocracy to a certain degree. But when you meet him, you thinking, oh, he kind of douchey, but you know what? He might work out. Brother was lying through his
I can't lie. Like when I saw him, I was like, just the air around him, it felt off.
Well, I was like, you know what? Maybe he might be alright. I ain't going, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he might be alright, but unfortunately, he didn't turn out that way. But speaking of the abbot, I want to get the thoughts of the other half of the dynamic duo of the South. I want to introduce to y'all Mark Deasy, Farizi, and Mark Dub. How you feeling about the abbot right now?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for that very cool intro, Mike. You know what? When I first saw the abbot, I was like, a greasy church figure. I didn't trust him out the gate.
Not greasy though.
Yeah,
that look in his eye, the camera.
He seemed like old slime ball. I was like, dang.
Well, I was hoping he might actually work out. But when he said, I have spies everywhere, we'll burn him to the ground, I was like, okay, maybe he's just a butthole, but he'll work out. Well, and then we saw that those pile of dead bodies, I was like, there's no way someone who says they have spies everywhere doesn't know about this many dead people. I was like, he's full of it. I was like, I knew it at that moment. I was like, he dirty, dead giveaway.
He wasn't even hiding his hate of the, in quotations, the godless mob.
Oh yeah,
he was so scared that his head was going on the chopping block. It's like, but Abbott, you supposed to be a man of the people. I mean, yeah, you might have some people like, there is no God, we killing these people, but also understand, like, they kind of gotta keep. I ain't gonna say they had to. Well, they kind of had to kill, these terrible royals. Cause they was running around. You know what? Y'all know what the French Revolution what happened. Them people got their head chopped.
Yeah, people.
Reasons that probably might have they deserved. Like stuff had to happen. So I'm just saying, you pastor, that was your time to side with the people. But he's like, I hate these godless mobs so much. I'm going to side with the devil to save God. I'm like, huh? I'm
like homie's logic was. Whew, you had to do an ill reach to get because the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, okay, so what you're saying is that to save the church, you had to make these demonic creatures open a portal to hell, make them the hell machine to make night creatures, and that's how you gonna represent for God.
This man made himself into it. I don't even know if he's technically a forge master, but he made himself into a forge master.
Yeah, because I'm like, someone had to make that machine. Now, of course, he had the book of spells, but I'm like, someone had to like make that machine, and I guess bless it or whatever. Because I mean, back in the days, the forge masters, they had to have like their hammer or something like that. But shouts out to the old forge masters in the last one. But well, actually, shouts out to one of them. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to the brother. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
we don't know about that other dude. He a traitor.
I mean, he had his fun. So like he had. I mean, if you're going to be a slave, I mean, that's the type of slave you want to be.
Homie was trying to get that death by snoo.
What, man? Look, you got that foot up the butt when he was mouthing off a couple seconds. Like, hold up. She was like, "What's her name? Eleanor?" She's like, "I know you."
Lenore.
Lenore, like, who you talking to, fool? Then she turned to a cloud of dust and put her little pointy toe up his butt.
Yo, but shouts to Isaac though. Isaac, full brother, came through, killed Camilla. Look, he in another level. But the abbot, straight evil. I'm like, yo, the church is 0-2 right now.
Sure. Like, the church is the reason why Isaac became what he was, because they mistreated him as a human being, and I don't know how he got the powers of the denizens of hell. I don't know what you do to get that.
Yeah, because I mean, he was a forge master, and actually, the one thing that we saw from that series, and kind of, I don't know if I'd say bleeds into this, but the whole idea that night creatures don't have to be this kind of like bloodthirsty thing, because we see that play out a little bit in this series. You know what I'm saying? Even though you got the abbot trying to force them to, do the most bad.
I will say they don't have to be, because the abbot ain't Isaac or what's his name. Because they can, they literally can just say, "Hey, do this. You got to do it."
Yeah.
Of course, the brother, got turned into a night creature, which I guess we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll talk about Edouard in a little bit.
He's probably just a little special per se, but
true. And he's one of the main characters, so we had to give him some love.
Yeah.
But you know what? Speaking about Edouard, I'll say this: Edouard's voice, whoever did that voice, yo, man,
beautiful, man.
That dude can sing.
Bro, first I was like, oh, he said, "I'm gonna sing for you." I was like, this gonna be stupid. Then I was like, wait a minute.
It wasn't.
I
was like, yo, I was like, this is emotional.
I don't think I was digging the first song, but I dug every other song after that. I was like, oh, Edouard got it.
He caught me in every single one. I was like, oh.
Yeah, because I was definitely expecting it to be whack, and then I was like,
his voice. I'm like, his voice is a gift. Like, bro, he was bringing them to, like, he made them feel something in their soul. Like, Marie never, like, she had to, like, discuss it. Like, yeah, these are, like, kind of like part of my soul, and I'm burying it. And she, like, yeah, let me bury this thing. This is proper.
And he even said, like, this is basically like the light and the darkness. And I was just like, wow. I was like, I'm surprised they brought that kind of like story beat back around in a way that was like timely. And you're like, yo, I'm not mad at his voice. Like, normally I'd be like, oh, this is corny, this is stupid, but it actually works. Like, even now, I will agree with you, Mark. The first song was the weakest of his songs, but
the first song I was a little iffy. I was like, can he sing? The second song, I said, oh yeah, he can sing.
And to be honest,
he wasn't no joke.
That's why I wanted to just kind of set the table. Like, okay, I know we're leading into a quote unquote symphony of the night. It may not be 1-to-1, but that kind of sets I feel like okay, is this going into what I thought it was going in to possibly be, leading to one of the greatest stories of Castlevania. Like, I didn't see this kind of prequel action going into that. Like, they had me completely fooled. I mean, I should know, but you just didn't see it to play out the way it was. But I guess he's the singer of the symphony per se. Probably not. He's probably not in the game, but I guess spiritually, since this is pulling from both of those, you got a whole opera singer. So
you know what? Symphony of the Night. That makes a. You know what? See, that's why you told me about the game. Now I'm connecting things.
That's why I really want to like pull it together. Like now, maybe we go in Galaxy Brain, but you got you had a night creature singing opera.
Yeah, and I found the voice actor. His name is Sidney James Harcourt, and it is a brother. It is a brother.
I felt like he was a brother. Like he might have been.
Sidney, you was doing it, bro. You was killing him. Like he was doing
it. Killing him.
They ain't have to call that man no mulatto.
Oh yeah, we gonna get into that.
Oh, I mean, but you know what? Like I dig that they pull no punches. They like, yeah, the vampires are definitely responsible for enslavement.
Yeah,
they were like vampires were a huge part. They were like
knock Tolato out there. Not sound like an old man. Just know where some of these nicknames come from. That's short for mulatto.
Word.
Yeah, I'm sure she knows.
Of course she knows.
I don't think they really consider.
I don't think they know the cultural
real history
significance.
Of it. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm cool with Lotto. I got no complaints. But it ain't necessarily a great thing. It ain't.
To go on that, and Mark Dell put me up on this. Break down the significance of that brand that they had, because I forgot the name of it. It's like the Saints have it for their logo.
Yeah.
And when you broke down the significance of it, and then when I saw it in here, I was like, oh snap, they ain't pulling no punches.
They ain't pulling out one.
One thing I can really say, they did their research before they didn't just throw some Creole history in here. Like they really did their research before they put this together. And now down to the Fleur-de-lis brands, and yes, they the Saints organization. I love the football team. It took a little air out of my sails when I found out that they used to brand runaway slaves with Fleur-de-lis.
Yeah, and that symbol, when I saw that, I was like, oh, Mark Dell was just breaking that down to me. You know what I'm saying? Way back when we was in Baton Rouge, you know what I'm saying? But nah.
And the Fleur-de-lis is a flower, but I used to grow up thinking and most people thought it was a spear, but I'm sure they had weapons that had the little Fleur-de-lis on top of it, and then sure enough, a slave brand has it on top of it. So it's all connected.
Yeah, I think the Fleur-de-lis comes from lilies.
Yeah.
And when she showed that, and she was like, this was a brand that was, and she meaning Annette, but when she was talking about the brand, that really brought it all back. And we'll get to the greater context, but they definitely did their research in a way that I thought was done.
Okay, so Annette was they were from the Island Saint-Domingue. That's the Haitian Revolution. They were she said she learned from a mambo. I think Cecile or Celine, I think it's Cecile, was a mambo, and she was speaking real Creole French. She was invoking Papa Legba and telling him to open the gate. Ouvre de barrière. I was like, wow, like they really, I don't know, I found that super impressive that they did that amount of research.
Yeah, right. And it really, because I mean, if you think about it, we have an Egyptian goddess or so-called goddess. We're not sure if that, if that vampire is telling the truth, but I mean, I guess we can take her at her word, sort of.
I mean, I think so. She turned into the lioness.
Yeah, she did. So yeah, she did. So it's just that there's so many swerves and falsehoods that these demons and evil characters be pulling. Sometimes I don't know, but Annette and the way she came up being being literally under the thumb of a vampire.
Man,
And
what of the racist son of a bitch.
yeah,
Oh
and then
my
of course being a slave, and then those conversations that they had about freedom, because you have not the Marquis, that's not his name. I can't remember his
Marquis
name.
That was the Countess de Vablon.
Yeah, Vablanc. Yeah, when he had his conversation to her about like this is the natural order, I was thinking to myself, ain't it so funny when looking at a character like Annette and a character like Vablanc, it's always the natural order when y'all are on top. It's always the natural order. There's no other order but when y'all are on top.
And the mirror of the priest talking about the natural order.
Yeah.
And they upsetting it and blah blah blah, and they're a godless mob. Like, okay.
It's very close to the current state of our society where virtue is placed on money, virtue is placed on basically beauty, and virtue is placed on intellect. Like it's just like, oh well, if you say if you have an argument for someone, you're like, hey man, they shouldn't have did this. He making money though. It's like, but that's not what we're talking about. It's like just because he has, well, he's smart, so he's got to be right. It's just because he's smart doesn't mean he's right about this.
And since this show ain't pulling no punches, let's not pull no punches. Not that we are. I'm gonna go a step further. You hit it nail on the head, but it's when people get the European influence of money, wealth.
Oh yeah.
Because we can see Annette is a beautiful, smart, fearless woman, and And real sidebar, real quick, I wanted to throw this in. Speaking of health, first of all, it is 100% rated. The critics on Rotten Tomatoes, as of now, has it 100% fresh.
Wow.
There is a disconnect between the audience. This usually is flipped. Like the audience love terrible A movies that we like. Nah, this ain't good. And the audience, you're like, oh, this is so great, blah 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 blah. You know who we talking about. But it's 51%. So I'm like, let me do a looking. And I'm gonna read one comment real quick.
I know exactly why it's 51%.
Oh, let me read it. Oh, man,
go and break down that 51%.
This is what we used to do at Blerd-ish. That's why I had to do this in my soul. Now, whoever this sucker is, he was like, worst character in show, Annette, with most screen time, failed. Richter is a side character in his own story. They have to ruin another franchise. Well, I'll be damned. Where do you think these thoughts come from? The critics got 100%.
They come from people that say, hey, white people gotta be in the lead, in the front all the time, no matter what. And if they ain't in the front, there's something wrong with the story.
First of all, Annette, she probably, if you break it down, she probably don't have the most screen time. Do she have a commanding presence of her screen time? And yes, she's a character like in anime. Nobody complain about all the flashbacks of anime. We already know this wasn't gonna be just one season. Like Richter, Trevor was not what he needed to be from season 1, and he had to grow up, or not say grow up. He had to first sober up. By the end of the first seasons, he was still a drunkard. He had to kind of get it together.
Yeah, he had to tighten up a little bit.
And he had to, get the love of a good woman to lift his spirit, to get his face out of the mud, literally, because he was out there fighting in the mud, but pissing in the woods. But still, Richter, he's not a drunk, but he's a boy. He's probably no more than whatever his age was.
I'm assuming he's around 20.
I wouldn't even be shocked he's a little bit younger.
Well, yeah, because
he's probably at 18 at most.
From the looks, he was, let's say 7 or 8, maybe.
He could be
7 or
16
8 in the beginning, and then you add 9 to that. So yeah, maybe he's not around 20.
16
maybe he's
or
a little
17.
bit. Yeah, maybe he's a little bit under that.
Yeah, he's probably at most 19. I wouldn't even say he didn't feel like a 20. He felt like
he didn't seem like he was 10 in that flashback. So yeah, you're right. He's probably 17-ish.
And he can kill he can kill like these old jobber vampires, but he didn't even know what a night creature was. Didn't have a clue until Annette saved his butt.
That's someone else's fault, but we'll get into that character later. But Annette did save him. This is the problem. You have a black character that has her or his own agency. They're doing their own thing, and they don't do what? They do not answer to a white character. That's their problem. These same people ain't got no problem with Falcon from Captain America. You want to know why?
Oh, they do. He's a
black character that has no agency, and he answers to Captain America.
And they still mad about his all lives matter speech. They still hate him. Like, it's like, yeah, he's your buddy though.
Yeah, like
he ain't no Annette.
It's 51%. When you told me, I was like, of course it is.
A vast disconnect.
Of course it is, because white people don't like black characters. We don't like black characters being in the lead or in the forefront of anything unless they are there to support the dreams and the aspirations and the goal of the white character.
Here's the thing.
We also don't want to hear about slavery and see that we are the ones that did it.
And it was harsh. It was brutal. Like, first of all,
because I forgot. Remember, slavery, all we did is just get job skills. It was like going to Job Corps.
We were friends. God. We didn't know how to live and bathe ourselves and make houses. They helped us out by bringing us over here to this country. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. The one of the chief white lies is that no one had civilization until they showed up. Like nobody was cooking food, nobody was wearing clothes, nobody was like doing anything.
We just outside picking bugs off our butts.
We were just drooling in the corner until they came out. Matter of fact, there was no corner because we didn't know how to build any kind of structure. We were just, I guess, in the woods, just laying. I don't know, having some kind of, epileptic fit until they showed up and bestowed civilization upon us.
Who was in caves?
Oh boy, don't get me started. But I mean, of course, this show illustrates it perfectly.
Yeah, so it's just all I'm gonna say is about those comments. Not all those comments seem to have regular Anglo-Saxon names. Some of the the wannabes are out there too.
Of course. Believe that there's going to be a whole bunch of Black Brown Alliance breaking all through them comments. And unfortunately, there's going to be some blacks that ain't aligning with their own black. But don't get me started with
I ain't even trying to find them. They better not show their face.
Well, you're going to see a whole bunch of last names up in there, Ortegas and stuff.
Mark know this. The Ortega. Mark know this. We used to we a little more. We collab. We do more family friendly. Y'all can go back and listen to our episodes like this when we see some of these comments. I'm trying not to curse, but I just had to bring that up. Funny. When you get behind the curtain and you see some things and they put it out there for the world to see.
Well, because they think that they're hiding their racism through a hyper specific critique, but when you follow their accounts, you quickly see that these hyper-specific critiques are veiled racism.
That is the worst character. Boy, shut
worst
up.
Character.
Whoever is listening around the world on these podcasts, if you think that you bugging, and you
51% of the listeners, 51% of the listeners probably already stopped because
they're
like. I don't want to talk about racism unless someone's saying that it doesn't exist.
Well, unless I get to, have weird fantasies about Annette. I don't want to talk about Annette having an agency.
Yeah, it's like you get a brother and a sister show up on the scene. They save the day. They ain't trying to hear that. Then after saving the day, knowing that they have their own goals and they have their own motivations, we really ain't trying to hear that.
Yo, pretty little blue-eyed blonde wasn't trying to. She I don't want to hear. Now she had to grow up and learn. And Annette straight called him out and said, "Y'all children, y'all don't know nothing yet." I can't say the other words.
Then she wanted to take her to the meeting.
I mean, now Annette did kind of fall for that one, but she got punched. She let it. Sometimes your allies will gas you up too
Yeah.
fast.
But I do like the way they held her story down, man. It showed so much resilience on her side, and then also showed that she had to learn when she went back and saw her. I don't know if she was considered a priestess or Orisha or whatever, but when she saw her again in the, I guess, the spirit realm or whatever, what I'm saying? It was nice that even she got a little growth out of that.
Yes.
Her Mambo.
Yeah,
That
Mambo.
was Celine.
Sorry.
And shout out to Edouard, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm saying his name right. Boy ain't have no fear in him.
Nope.
Not 1 ounce. He looked that demon in the face and said, "Get off my stage, boy. All we smell is your dogs.
Yep.
You interrupting my voice from heaven. You demon, get out of here." Like, man, who is this?
He said, "Get thee behind me."
He called him devil.
Get. He's like, I know. And she was like, she was scared. She's like, baby, chill. I know he a demon. He a cracker. Oh, well, yeah, he a cracker. He said it now, Too bad. Sorry, folks.
But you saw he chilled too, because everybody started turning around like, look.
Even his vampire partners like, look, bro, it
was like, look, we came here to see a show,
but you being uncouth right now.
And I paid good money to see this, so you better sit down.
Yeah, you better sit your $3 butt down, man. What you doing, man? Like,
oh man, so
you don't hear black people singing opera every day in 1792.
Also, let's keep it real. We don't see many black people that look like that have that status that are on code. Let's keep it real.
The boy
let's keep it real. He was fighting on code. He saw a sister in trouble, and he was like, "I got your back."
Fighting for freedom with French silks, and she's like, "Baby, don't step on my French silks. Let me get you straight out here. I see you looking a look. I know how you looking, how you feeling. I got you. We're gonna sneak you up out of here. We got a whole system. Like, yo, on code, bro. Like, it's beautiful."
And it kind of, like you said about this story going fast and just expecting you to kind of like get it. Let me know, and Mark Dub, let me know on this one. Did you get the idea that she's not the first slave he's helped?
No, he said it.
Oh no, he definitely
because they kind of flew past it, but it seemed like
he said it in that one line. Remember, he said, "You're not when I help runaways." So he's like, man, he already in the thing. He already a part of a freedom fighting network.
So yeah, he was super on code.
He was a hard body, light skin.
Yeah.
he was so hard body. They converted him, and he never was in their thrall.
Now his curls may not have been for the girls, but he was on point. That's all.
Homie saw her get attacked, and he was like, we ain't having that.
Yeah, he tore that thing apart.
When she came to save him, he was like, "No, this is my place. This is where I'm supposed to be."
Bro,
Eduardo, like, don't leave me here. I got this. I'm going to be the light in here.
And you know what's beautiful? Eduardo outside, he looks like a demon. He looks like whatever. But when he sung, he saw his soul as himself, and they showed that. I was like, yes.
Yeah, those scenes were incredible with him.
He was saving souls who got turned.
Yo, tell me that the gospel can't come through the song. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me preach up in here.
The whole representation of a demon. I'm just saying, look, bro, that was, bro. I'm sorry, y'all. Don't get me preaching too. But it was
honest, man.
But it was beautiful.
This
it was beautiful.
This one, I mean, I have. By contrast, I don't know. I haven't watched all the Castlevanias. I loved so many aspects of this one. This one was dope. I mean, I love the black vampires and the black vampire hunters. I love that they really did they research with these black vampire hunters.
It was tragically beautiful.
It was wonderfully done.
Now I have a question. I'm gonna throw this to Coop because we talked about this a little bit offline. But do you have any idea what Orlox really wants.
Oh, first of all, right.
Because Orlox is a character that strikes me similar to Balin in the Ahsoka show, where it's like he's bad, but he's not bad, but he's bad. But what does he want?
I'm gonna say this: it's if the phrase of a necessary evil was walking around, he's more akin to Dracula probably than the Lioness is, and just how he is, like, cause he don't don't get it twisted, like he has affinity for the humans like Dracula. Dracula's when he shows that he loves a human, he loves hard.
Yeah.
And if you mess with that human, all hell breaks loose. And then
he doesn't seem to be super bloodthirsty either.
Well, I think this is what it is. He says he's 250 years old as a vampire. So tack that on to what he lived at as up until a human. So he might be like 300 years old. Or I mean, as a person, or a little bit more, or however they play with time. But he's at least close to 300 in existence.
He might have been like in his 20s, maybe young to mid 30s.
So
because he definitely looks like an adult, but he don't look old.
So he got turned when Dracula either just died or came back or was out in existence. So he got to age up as far as that, and he aged in the new world, which is his world. And Orlox called it out. Orlox might not even been worried about killing Belmont. But I love that they did this. That you think that when we saw the trailer, like, oh man, this is the new big bad, and you don't have a clue. But he's, far as fighting, he's cold. The boy got ghost powers. He is a dragon. Literally, it looks like an alien. Like when the aliens
electricity powers. Like man.
He got a lot going on. Like, so
he can turn into mist.
Yeah, that whole mist thing.
So even if he isn't one of the, if he probably one of the oldest out there, or just kind of contemporary oldest, but he's like good enough to probably figure his powers out. He's intelligent, highly intelligent, and he is evil. I think I'm gonna say he's evil because he's definitely petty. He's like, I gotta kill your mama, bro. He killed my lover. She killed my lover. But when he went and explained it further,
I mean, I don't think that was evil. That was retribution.
Yeah, that was kind of like
he's a very self-interested character.
I mean, I'll just say evil just because, vampire for me kind of evil. It just kind of comes.
Because I'm sure
he did a lot of killing.
His lover probably got killed because
he said it. He said, and when he explained the part, he was like, I believed in these revolutionaries. Like, he's not necessarily anti-revolution. Hell, he joined it. His lover joined it. So he was in on the side of the American, like kind of like the American. I don't think it might have been the American Revolution because they was in Boston or wherever they was at. But I'm assuming it might have been the American Revolution because it was 1792. So therefore, 1776 already happened. And he said, my lover joined it. And he believed in this, and they still took our people land, and then Belmont killed them. So I don't know how close she was in on the revolution or no, but regardless, he like, I did this for all you people, and y'all couldn't just leave my lover, and then you took my people land. So Orlox already know that people that don't look like that look like him, they look like Annette. And you got the people that look like the Lioness and LeBlanc.
Because he's not he don't look like a white Latino. And Drolta called him out, said he was an Aztec. So since he's Aztec, that means he's what they call in LA they call mestizo. He's a brown or dark brown Mexican.
He know what it is.
And if y'all don't know about colorism in Latin America, trust me, it's just another branch of white supremacy.
Like, this brother, this man is of the land, and he saw, again, whether he was alive or saw it as a vampire, he saw his people got stomped out. From fellow humans, and that's kind of more akin to the anger that Dracula has always kind of had. Like, man, I did the right thing. The church turned on me. I couldn't save my wife, and Or in this one, you know, they burned his wife, and he left y'all alone. So I gotta mess with you. You know, I throw in the evil in because, you know, he done probably killed a few innocent people. So
Oh, he definitely killed.
You know, so, you know, just saying.
It's interesting to see
sir.
him.
That man been around a long time. He ain't killed no innocent people in this one. He said he like his blood blue.
I did like that.
I ain't let him do that.
Bro, okay,
Stop
fine.
making you ain't seen that nowhere.
You know what that does.
But I did like that line.
That is an interesting line that reads into his character a lot, because you have these vampires that are like basically feeding on the most desperate, the most, you know, like downtrodden people.
Peasants.
And he's like, nope. I don't. He's
you know
like,
what?
I don't feed on them.
Shout out to Mark.
They've already had a hard life.
What if
I'm feeding on the people that's treating them wrong. So you know what? Maybe he does have this weird sense of justice, like the Punisher or something like that.
Wasn't he enslaved when he was turned?
I don't know. It wasn't clear on that.
Because see, Aztec, he might have been enslaved by Spaniards.
The conquistador. So I guess you gotta do your little bit of your own assumption with that. But timeline.
He kind of seemed like he danced to the beat of his own drum.
He absolutely danced to the beat of his own drum.
Like he ain't with the other vampires.
Remember, she said bow, and he looked at her like, I don't bow.
And he also said, I don't subscribe. I don't believe in no. He kind of don't believe in no God no more. They're like, man, I don't believe in any of this. Like, whatever. And he's like, I heard this before. Oh, we gonna create a new world. I heard that before. And so,
you know what?
I like the fact that he
probably heard this spiel a lot, man. Dude been around for 285 years.
Think about it.
At least three times he done heard
I'm pretty
this.
sure Camilla isn't the only vampire that's been like, I'm gonna create a whole new empire or something like that. So between vampires and between aristocratic humans, he's probably heard all kinds of like, I've heard this before. What this means is we're gonna squeeze the blood and the life out of all of the poorest and the most desperate people while we live off of it. That's what
you know what? They definitely paint the vampire aristocracy as just evil. Like they are definitely like, and they consider the natural order to have peasants and then slaves. And because Von Blanc was like, oh man, I ain't gonna lie, it gave me a lot of joy when she was like, oh yeah, I forgot how you cower before their God, the Christian God. And then she put all the crosses around him. He couldn't get out. He was talking real jazzy to her. She was talking jazzy back. He was like, last time I saw you, what did he say? Last time I saw you, and she said, last time I saw you, you were a bat. You were a winged rat.
Yeah, something like that. And she was like, oh, by the way, the sun's coming up. And it's like, she was like, light always banishes darkness or something like that.
And why he burned to hell. And I love how they gave him. Shout out to the company doing the anime bugging out scene where they zoom up in the face. He's like, he's gonna come in. Look, I love. They always do that when it's somebody who's probably about to get it, or they realize I done effed up, but I'm gonna just say something crazy. Like either they professing something.
Hey, you know what? Know what else? I thought it was funny. He was just an old virulent racist all the way to the end. Like he never relented on what he was on.
Oh yeah, he kept that.
With his dying breath, he was like, "You still."
He's so confident. He didn't even try. Like, I can tell you're a little ignorant. Ain't a plan, and I don't care. Ha ha ha! Let me try to escape. Like, boy, you ain't about to escape.
Like, you ain't going nowhere.
But I mean, he ain't wrong. She's a whole beast out here. I guess we'll get to her in a moment. But he was like, cause he didn't hide the plan. Like, look, my soul will be fine because you're gonna die. Ha ha ha! I burned to death. I loved it. She didn't even look at. Now that's what I'll say. First of all, again, for y'all hating on whoever hating on Annette, shut up.
Annette, for real, Annette was such a dope character.
He was so cold. She didn't even. Now this is a man who killed her mother, tortured her, She was so over and past him, she didn't even look him in the face, didn't even give him an ounce of fear, and looked away. Like, oh, by the way, the sun destroys dark. The
You
dark.
smell that? That's
That's the
burning flesh.
That's the natural order, baby. Bye.
You're like, peace out.
Like you are so irrelevant in my life right now.
Now I'm gonna throw a little love to the ladies real quick. Tera, Auntie Tera, Cousin Maria, or as much cousin you gonna be. You know what? I actually dug them. I will say they were a nice foundation for Richter. You know what I'm saying? Even he said like, I believe in y'all. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I need, kind of thing. And they were dope. Even though Tera, she should have told Maria about her daddy a long time ago.
Well, you know how that goes.
But I understand. And the funny thing is, she was like, when she was taken up for the abbot so much, I was like, that's her daddy. I was like, cause she defended him way too hard.
Oh, I'll be honest. I did not see that coming. I don't know. Maybe I just had my blinders on, but I was like, okay, she just really trusts this dude. And when I didn't figure it, they got me.
She was like shaking. I was like, oh, I don't know. Like,
I was shocked. I was like, oh wow.
I didn't think he was the daddy, but I feel like he was in. I mean, you can see Tera is kind of good looking for European standards.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, this is also anime. So Tera is like, is Tera your older sister or your mom? Because the way they drawing her, she ain't got no age on her.
She barely had a line on her mouth.
Thank you.
Because for a second I was confused because the way Richter held her hand, I'm like, is Richter hollering her? Because they had her look young right there. I was like, that's supposed to be his.
You know how anime is. Everybody be looking like they 21.
You
be like, yo, ain't this person supposed to be like 40?
I mean, she should be at least 40.
So let's see. I think
at least 38.
She ran away from Russia when she was 17.
So she's at least 18.
So now Maria is, how old is Maria? I can't remember how old
she's anywhere from.
She's maybe like 15, maybe
to 16. She's probably like 14, 15.
So that means that Tera gotta be in her 30s.
Late 30s.
But they was like, nope, she gonna look like she about 22. Cause I was like,
for a split second,
look mad young.
But you can, they also do the thing where if a lady has a little more curves, you say in anime, usually sometimes when they do in logical sense, she has curves and she dressed a certain way. So, and then she was a mom. Like, they wouldn't hide that she was mom. So, they put a couple of little lines on the mouth when they zoomed up. But sometimes it did throw me off too.
When they showed her, I was like, I know that's your mom, but how old is she? Cause when did she have you? When she was 10?
Because that's what was throwing me off. I was like, all right, what is Richter's age? Because he's anywhere from 16 to 19, but he's holding her hand like, oh, is he dating her mom? And that's like his replacement.
Richter is probably like 17 and Maria is 15, I guess.
Because he's older than her, and that's like his adoptive sister.
Yeah.
So.
But I do like them as a team. I like the fact that none of them back down from a fight.
Yes.
And shout out to Tera. We have like a new kind of like interesting play on like the magic with Maria too.
First of all, shout out to Tera for training Maria. Maria was cold now. Yeah, she's a powerful. She's a
Maria
very
got some
capable.
Hands and she's a powerful little sorceress.
Like, she was jumping on the bird. She jumped on your feet. She ran into she was like, I ain't scared. The bravest person though. Just one shout out time to the abbot's partner. That was the bravest person in Castlevania lore. This man don't even have an ounce of magic ready to dice
Not
anybody.
an ounce of magic. All he got is a sword.
I think the boy growled at people.
Yo, when he was about to go after Drolta, I was like, all right, I see you. Yo, he ain't no punk over there.
Yeah, no part of him, punk. Hey, and your boy Orlox was like, nah, G, come on, baby. Let's
He
go
was like-
outside.
He was like, can we do this somewhere more comfortable? I was like, oh boy. Like once he said, I was like, oh, you about to fall into the vampire spell, boy.
Speaking of that, like when they was fighting, I'm like, I kind of like, I know Castlevania, they get down, definitely go see the first one. They actually had less nudity in this season than the previous.
Well, in this season, trust me, you probably gonna see some. You gonna see some butt cheeks or something. It's gonna be like
you always gonna see somebody's butt cheek. I tell you what,
Like they had a whole scene where Orlox just was like, I ain't putting no clothes on.
I'm like,
Hey, I don't need clothes. Like
I get he's a vampire, so of course he's gonna look beautiful. I'm like, this dude ain't got an ounce of fat either. Like they just like what gym? I get it's rough in the old days, but like man,
but
you
see,
just
they
work out while
need
walking.
gyms because remember everything they did was hard
heavy.
to do.
Bruh.
Like
These-
he wearing that metal. They're doing it. That's like wearing a weight vest all the time.
Was this
That
Castle
heavy sword.
Look, I felt like we fell in the episode of Masters of the Universe with they session for they
'cause it was-
they pillow
it was
talk session.
Straight up butt naked.
I'm like, hey, I see what they into. You got to be
But
muscle.
then the trip is he was talking about like, oh, somebody I once loved or something like that. I'm like, man, you be falling in love mad fast, don't you?
All
I
I
mean,
know is
I guess at the same time, I guess he gotta fall in love fast because he like, I'm a vampire, so I ain't gonna die, but you
but
gonna die
look,
quick, so I gotta hurry up. I don't.
all Rex is like, look, boy, I don't love you, man. Like this, like we just having fun. Now shut up. like he's like, you don't love me. Like nah,
like, no,
Like,
no,
nah,
you good.
don't get it twisted.
nah, homie. Like man, look, bro, I'm a whole vampire out here, bro. Shut
Now,
up, your job.
At the same time, I will say this. Now, at the same time, when I say this, I don't know. I don't know about the LGBT love timeline or whatever. But whenever it's in Hollywood, like whenever they show a LGBTQIA plus couple, I got the whole thing. But here's the thing: they don't never take it slow, bruh. They be going straight to sex like super fast.
I mean,
They don't never like be like, let's date
Again.
for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Maybe go get some ice
Bruh,
cream. Nope.
this
They be
is
like,
this is the dark, just coming out of the dark ages into the French Revolution where people
they
heads
ain't
get
got no time.
chopped.
They ain't got no
They
time,
got no
for
time
taking it slow.
for courting, bruh. Like, oh boy,
I'm like, dang, that like,
Oh.
bro, you just met him. You don't know him
Bruh.
like that.
oh,
Like,
well, I
you
don't
know where
think
he
they,
been.
they act like they knew each other for a hot minute before. Maybe he came to France before. Orlox is a he a playboy.
Yeah,
He get
do
around a
be-
little
he
bit.
be out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? He don't keep
Bruh.
that hair fresh for nothing.
That man got whole mascara on in 1792.
True that. Homie was like the prince
He-
of vampires.
He's ready for the night. All right, you know what I'm saying? So he got his French bro. He got French silks out here. He
Hey,
player.
he-
French silks.
he got his mascara on.
He said French silks though. Yeah, but
Nope,
in
nope.
all honesty, I'm sitting here like, yo,
Be
why
honest.
like they ain't gonna take it slow.
All rocks look like he could have
And
been.
you supposed to be with the church. Why you going?
Bruh.
You all quick to jump into bed? Like,
Shout
dang.
out to Prince. All rocks look like he belonged in the revolution.
Boy,
All
you
rocks-
hilarious.
Look like he played
sure
bass.
did.
Look like he played bass for Prince.
Dave.
They call
blouses.
him Dr. Rocks.
Dr. Rocks.
Oh, boy.
Shock the whole
Doctor.
box.
Bum, bam, bum, bam. Okay.
Shock the box,
Oh.
Dr. Rocks.
Oh man.
And he
Alright,
will
so-
too.
I want to talk about, of course, we gonna get into the man of the hour and everything surrounding him.
The side character.
The apparent side character,
The
also
side
known
character.
as
The lead
Richter.
character. Yeah.
Richter Belmont. The kid that got his mama killed because he ain't listen.
He showed it.
Yo,
I know you was
look,
gonna
let
say
me-
that. I
I'm
knew.
gonna talk about non-listening kids for a second. All right, look, as a father, I think I can say this: kids, do what your parents say, so they don't have to end up dead. Cause see, this is what happens when you don't listen. All right, this is a perfect example. Just like there was another movie, a movie called Taken. All right, there's a young girl. She wanted to go out jet setting to Europe, right? And her dad was like, "Yo, man, look, how about I just go? I'll shadow y'all. I won't be in y'all business." She was like, "No." And then Jean Grey was like, "Don't be crowding your daughter." And he was like, "All right, I ain't gonna go to Europe then." And then guess what happened? Cause she ain't listened to her daddy. Guess what happened? Boom, kidnap. See,
I'm still
So-
amazed Liam Nelson pulled Fankin Johnson. I'm supposed to believe that, but sure. Oh yeah. Go continue.
So, so like, so and he ain't listening, and he arrogant. He young and arrogant. He like, my mom's gonna slice you. And the first thing, watch your mouth. Stay out of grown folks' business. All right, that's the first thing. Let me talk. You get to the boat, like I told you. You know what I'm saying? This is like in the movies when someone be like, stay in the car, and they don't stay in the car. See, this is what
like
this is.
every anime where the little plucky fool, like, we're gonna take you down. And next thing you know, you see the hero with a hole in their chest because they had to save you.
What's your man name on Falcon and Winter Soldier? Battlestar.
Oh Lord,
That
Battlestar.
cat. Hey, he started every joint like, yo, we're gonna do this, and that man never won a battle, not one.
Man, I don't know what star he a battle of.
Right,
but
because he ain't never win one.
He had less
never won a
hands than
battle.
Falcon, and I didn't think that was possible in the MCU. Unless you was just an extra walking down the street.
Studio gangster.
Oh my goodness, he had worse hands than Falcon. I didn't even realize that, but
you know what? He was a studio gangster. He was on some Ja Rule stuff out there.
And his hairline.
Yeah, I said it.
And
his hairline was so whack.
He looked like he was a friend of that guy with that hairline.
And then when we met his family, we were like, we saw where he got it from. There was them fans.
How you worried more about?
They the ones that be looking down their noses and be like, you should just pull yourself up from your bootstraps. I don't know what's wrong with you. You're like,
the blue
light. Just don't get me started.
Oh
man.
my goodness.
His family. Oh dang.
Wow.
Oh, all lives matter. Blue lives matter.
All rocks would have killed them all.
Thank you. But anyway, back to Richter. You know what I'm saying? He unfortunately learned a harsh lesson when he was younger. You know what I'm saying? A very harsh lesson. But he grew from that. And I kind of like his swag. I like this swag when we first meet. Well, not when we meet the older one.
Can I say this real quick?
All right.
Richter might be, other than the person we're gonna get to, maybe most people's favorite. Because of course we all knew Simon from Richter is beloved, like for real. People really rock with Richter. For one, he got the headband look that he got later on from the Liberty Girls or whatever they was doing out there passing out headbands.
And those Liberty Girls, one of them tried to holler at him, right? Did you get that vibe? Because
absolutely, at her. I mean, I guess apparently when you're a Belmont, women just throw themselves at you.
Because old NERDSoul, I guess young NERDSoul would have been like, girls, don't play up in here.
Bruh, absolutely they was trying to holler.
I got some time.
Because, she was saying, maybe I'll call myself a turner. Like, well, you got to be a boy for that, but you could be something else, blah, blah, blah. You saw how they blushed a tinge.
Yeah, they blush, and then one of them got bold. It's like, girl, look, hey, don't play up in here. You know,
like, I got stuff to do, but if this was peace,
and then also, I don't know how old you are because you're drawn. So I mean, I'm gonna just leave it. But like, girl, stop playing.
1792 in France, bro.
Oh yeah, they probably have no rules back then. They was doing.
Let's just assume 15 and up.
Hey, this show is really, really realistic if that's the case.
It's probably very realistic. They didn't have no law against,
Yeah, they was just doing wrong all around.
Okay.
But
you can bear children, you can be married easily.
That girl was still in a training, bro.
Yeah, that unfortunately that's probably true. But I will give shouts to the whole. I liked his vibe when he was like, all right, vampires, let's roll.
Yeah, didn't seem like towards the end Richter was trying to shoot his shot at Annette.
Yes.
Yeah, he couldn't deny the Dom Breezy.
In fact, me and NERDSoul talked about this off screen. That when I think you go back, if you see the view after he was saved, and you see Richter's point of view was looking at her. And when a hero or you see a love interest and they see them clear, she was in his sights, in the focus. And that was made clear. Like he saw her like, oh, you are something different. Like you are, you could just kind of feel the energy that he was, for one, he was saved by her.
Yeah.
She was educating him. and he was learning from him. He was absorbing it because, like you say,
So she's an intriguing woman.
And also, people love Richter because, Simon was never a punk or nothing like that. Was never weak.
Word.
Trevor was, had to go through his stuff. Now Simon, of course, Simon too in the video game, he was damn near cursed by Dracula. He was a little wishy-washy, but he was cursed. Richter is like supposed to be one of the most brave. Like Richter is for it. Like that's why Richter is, even though he's smaller, but Richter is usually portrayed, he's gunsed up. Simon is too. But Richter is like, man, I'm cold with my French truck. Like, look at the guns. Richter is like
he
that
did
guy.
Keep the guns out all the time.
Like his games, he's just like he gets more and more brolic as he get a little older. Like Richter ain't never got, like, once he get over his fear, Richter is kind of like akin to Daredevil. I would put him up there. Like, he is like a man kind of without fear. And once a Belmont get over their fear, they get really powerful. Like, they ain't, like, most Belmonts don't have fear. They have sorrow, but they're not really scared. But once they get over those things, you see what happens.
That whole fear thing that he got over, which, I mean, he had his character arc where he was faced, straight up with, like Tera said, his devil came face to face with him. But another thing that changed it is when he showed up, he put his hand out to him, and I was like, huh? I was like, Orlox, and that's the thing I love about Orlox, and I love characters like that where it's like, what do you want? Like, what's your motivate? What are you? Because I thought you were gonna come in here to like kill and stuff, and now you're throwing me off in a good way, where I'm like always intrigued into like what you're doing next.
To tie it back to the question you asked about Orlox, I think what he wants is a world where I think poor people can get agency. Because, I mean, now, he didn't give his lover agency to turn into a vampire, so that's a little wrong there. He didn't have consent. We ain't gonna get to all that.
Well,
but at the same time,
maybe he told him what he was and gave him a choice. Maybe, I don't know.
We don't know. But at the same time, Orlox know that the Europeans didn't give them no choice, vampire or not. They was rolling all through this land. So I think he's like, man, I'm not down with no empires. My people are either dead, burned, or they've been vampire food. And he's like, you know what? And
he's probably super anti, like, empire establishment kind of stuff. Yeah,
because he said, I like my blood blue. Like, shout out to Mark for pointing that out. Like, that is a prominent point. I was like, okay. I'm like, Orlox, like, I ain't got to kill this person on the street begging for food.
Yeah, because he straight walked past him to the rich guy, and I was like, huh. I was like, this up. And when I saw that, I was like, this makes his character even more intriguing. I'm like, Orlox, I can't really nail him down as far as like what he is. But now that we've been talking and you say that, I think he's
out
like,
to Sherry.
I'm going to use my vampirism like the Punisher. Like, I'm gonna kill people, but I'm gonna only kill people that I see kind of like keeping people oppressed.
And I guess when we get to a girl like the head boss, I fail to believe she didn't see all this, but I think she know that she's so damn powerful, she could care less. Like, all right,
I think she figured, he's kind of against me, but I don't care because he can't do anything to me.
He can't touch me, and he ain't stupid. He ain't stupid to like join in and fight. Orlox didn't. He ain't move. Like, look, I tried to save you, baby. I tried to save you, but he's like, I gotta go fight.
The thing is, and we'll get into Countess in a second. I'm gonna finish up on Richter, but I got something for Countess. But Richter, his journey brought him to his granddad, and I'm like, hold on. Richter said the same thing. Richter like, bro, where you been? Like, Mama could have used your help. You out here, first thing, you stole my whip. And yes, I said mine because you let it go. You know what I'm saying? First thing, don't be stealing stuff. Second, where you been? And then
I
and then you
mean,
this close?
I guess it begs the question: would he have helped? Yes, he would have trained him, but he was such a broken man because he was like, "Do you want me to motivate you and to tell you good job and blah 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 for what?" So I get his motivation too, but
But you see, he's kind of turning a little bit because he almost consoled him a little bit.
he still had hands. He still got skills.
Oh
He
yeah, he
still
still
can
got
handle
skills.
a Rudy Pook. Like I love when these little old, like you can see these vampires that clearly in peasant clothes. I
Yeah,
told you
they
I'm gonna
these
beat you up.
they like the the bench
Red
warming vampires.
red shirts. Oh, they're like, okay, bro, you are training. Like you a whole vampire. You can't beat up an old man. You can't outstrength an old man out here.
Like man, look, like just wrap it up, man. You done.
Why they even turn you? They should have just
Yeah,
ate.
these
They
little
should
low
just
level vampires. Well, I guess even vampires need like pawns.
need rank and file.
Yeah, they still need like the pawns to do like go bring us some humans so we can drink or something like that.
Go bring some dead bodies to the Forge Master. That's your job.
Yeah, like, that's your job. That's all you can handle. You can't do nothing for real. Like any regular vampire hunter can take you down. Like, and now we do know that there's other vampire hunters. But and we also get to learn his name, Granddad's name, which is Juiced. So
Yes.
we get Juiced Belmont, who
Shout,
I don't know anything about him, but I wanted to know either you or Mark Dub. Do y'all know any
shout
history about,
out
or is he made up for
to.
the show?
I think he is actually a game character. He is in one because the name is familiar. Juice. I'm probably gonna put up the timeline of this. He is actually probably exactly what he need to be, a kind of a loser. I think Juice is one. He did the thing, but he might have. I don't know if he was an offshoot Belmont in the game where he didn't have all the ability, or he was good, but he kind of got rolled, and I think his lady got turned into a vampire in front of his face, and he eventually had to do some things. And like, if it's because he is French, so yeah, Juice got it. Like, he really did get screwed over. Like, I think he was vampire hunting, then he got married, he fell in love, and Dracula took that personally, like Jordan. It was like, okay, like you gonna mess over me, I'm gonna mess over you, player. Like, your old lady will be my old lady, and I'm gonna do it in your face. And I think it was a comic book they made for some of the games and stuff. Oh, it was brutal. Like, Dracula was stunt in, all in his face, and Juice just kind of he got the courage. He put down the French silks for a little bit. Had to get a little grungy, but he kind of just went mad, just kind of blah blah blah. Like, I don't know if he was ever great grandpa Richter, but no, I think he is the grandpa Richter. But he sent Richter off to be trained a little bit by somebody else, so Juice did help. But Richter had other hand in his training, like Simon got trained by like barbarian monks or something in the story. That's why Simon was so good and kind of fearless. And that's how Trevor also was too. Like, they got like the highest of training for their stuff. Juice kind of got pulled into it badly. So
Okay.
if this is the guy that I think it is, it fit. It's again top of the line to them for writing Juice to be a flawed, failed Belmont per se. This is what happens when a Belmont kind of don't get a fulfilled life, or the dangers of having a wife or a love. Like, you kind of, like you said, you do need to keep the bloodline going, because the bloodline is important. But
Yeah, like Belmont's. Look, you gotta have more than one kid, man. Like, you gotta y'all need more than one kid. Like,
So
y'all know how hard it is to fight vampires. You
So what
need
you
to
saying,
have
Mike,
like
they
three,
need to
four
have
kids.
they need to have sister wives like that TV show out there.
Well,
Ah,
You don't need to do that. Just have like multiple kids.
well, so what you saying, he should be a Rolling Stone? just make
Well, no, I mean, like on my father's side, he has 13 siblings. Like on my father's side, it's a super big family.
But
So
it's
it's
hard
like,
to do when it's only one of y'all left around at a time sometimes.
like, yo, man, you need to make 13 and then you know what I'm saying, get Grandpop to train him while you
But
go out and fight vampires or
I
something.
know what you said. What he need to do, like Aang. Aang had 5 kids, much kids he can, and then the one that had the abilities, he made
If
him like,
Joe
hey,
Jackson can make an international sensation out of 5 boys, and shoot, even Latoya and Reby had a little career too, and Janet had an amazing career. Come on now,
shout out to Aang.
Belmont can have some kids.
Shout out to Aang's boy on Korra. He was making he was like, I gotta rebuild the nation. He's like, I gotta rebuild the air nation.
You see he got to work, right? He was like, all right, look, how many kids he got? What, 4?
3,
yeah.
and they always airbenders. He's like, I
Yep.
y'all
See,
train.
because he knew what the assignment was. You know what I'm saying? I gotta bring back the Air Nation. There's only one way to do that. All right, there's only one way. All right. That's why he got his lady. He's like, all right, I gotta do what I gotta do. Now he got 3 kids. Now they gonna have, I don't know, say if all them have 3 kids. Now you building the nation back.
Well,
you got the Air Nation.
Shout out
the Air Temple, whatever it was.
Shout out to Korra. Even though Korra was hard headed, she did restore the Air Nation because everybody came back. They got their powers back. They got the Air Nation back.
True that.
You know, the rest of us gotta live with spirits, but that's fine though. They got their nation back.
Yeah,
I love
random spirits just floating around.
I'm telling you to get out your house.
Like, you know, hey, what can you do? But I do like how Richter, he lost his magic powers. He got them back, and when he got them back, bro, it was boss level, son.
I loved how he got
the music. The music swells.
Bro, when
the power started, he had the blue flame too. Come on, man!
He was
like
crying.
Richter got sweet.
But he realized he had a family. He was like, wait a minute, I do have some to lose, and I have people that I actually do love. And it's like, what am I? You know what? I'm sorrowful. I'm sorrow, but I gotta tighten up. And you know what? Us as adults, as you know, a lot of us as men, you know, this ain't just specific to men, but you know, when you're going through coming of age, you know, there's that part where you realize, oh, I'm an adult now. I gotta do this a little bit differently. And that's kind of like Richter's adult moment, and then he become the Richter we know. He put that headband on.
Yo, when he put that headband on, I was like, it's good.
That is his character now. Like, you know, that's what he is. You know, he like Rambo out these streets.
Yo, man, he was like, yo, he was about to do a straight 4 Hadouken up in this joint.
He shot at them kind of like, you back. You got a headband on. Why? It's like, you got
a headband. And then the dude can send the fire and the ice through the whip. Come on, bro. Man, look. We own now. You know what I'm saying? We own. Like, even what is it? I think when he had the main bad guy that attacked him at the lake or whatever, when he was like, I would say something cool, but you know what? Screw it.
Nikolai.
Nikolai was talking all that noise.
Nikolai was talking all that noise.
Yo, you couldn't tell him nothing right there.
He gonna turn into a bat and then fly by my bat. I'm behind you. I got you, boy. Yo, hold up. Nikolai face. Oh, I love when they close up on him. It's like them old kung fu movies. Somebody give you the death touch.
Yeah, because he was talking all that. See, Nikolai is another perfect example of like, look, just kill the dude. Because you did all this. You could have came up, killed him, and left, but no.
No, you had to rub it in.
I'm gonna bring his head back to the mistress. We'll cut his head off to the Marquis's wife.
Yo, she straight kept that head too, man. She was crying for real. She was crying a little too. Well, I mean, I can't say she was crying too much. I mean, it was her man, but I mean,
I love how they played it. She was like,
yo, and she had the head with her.
Dolce was like, I don't do tears, but you know, say something, yada yada yada. We won't blah blah blah. Dolce was like,
he was always nice and he was really cool. Amen. Or something.
And he had great touch. He had great choices in furniture
and soft furnishings.
I love Dolce, man.
They were cruel. I love it.
So all right, let's go in and talk about Drolta. All right, let's go in and get it out the way.
Let me go ahead and start this. Let me kick this
off. I'm gonna give this to Get us to
Hey, I'm
the
just
one and only Cooper Blerd-ish. Just so you know, this is Coop. Go on,
oh
say what you
yeah.
gotta say.
This is Blerd-ish of LLC thoughts. First of all, I'm just gonna say this. Doltra is going to be Doltra. At least she done gave about 3, 4 looks that you gonna see on the cosplay circuit before the end of this year, but definitely by next year. First of all, I'm not even gonna front. The little snow hat fit, bruh. I was like, okay, that was the moment right then and there. I was like, why you gotta look this good when you on a slaughter? Like, what are you doing? Talking about slaying, she's slaying for real, on and off the battlefield. Like, how you got this how you got this fit? Like, I know you're a vampire, but ain't this a little too futuristic? In 1792, like, who is doing your clothes? I'm like,
man, when I saw her, I was like, well, when I saw her in the trailer, I was like, word. So we got black people that's good and black people that's bad. Word, dope, cool. We got some representation. That's what I'm talking about. And then when we see her in the show, I was like, here we go. I was like,
like, look, man, Doltra, even though she was an acolyte or a sycophant or whatever you want to call it, she still had a lot of her own agency to kind of choose. It don't seem like she was made. She just like kind of like, look, I dealt with this as a priestess way back when, so she's old. That's why she got all these ridiculous powers, and you can't even quite hit her. Like just like Orlox, she even, I think, is it just me? Did she shoot her shot at Orlox?
It seemed like
she tried to.
It seemed like she tried to spit a little game to him.
She was like, "Look, where you?" Because she kind of said, "Hey, babe, where you sleeping at tonight?" I was like, "Oh, whoa." I mean, but you know, Orlox look like, you know, he plays defense and offense. He probably he get down with the get down, but he was like, I ain't worried about you right now.
He's like, I ain't tripping on that.
Like, I gotta deal.
You too crazy about this whole Messiah thing, so yeah, I ain't gonna get with you.
I got a French partner waiting for me, but you can come like hang out. You know, we can.
You come chill.
Go chill, you know. But I.
And she told the other dude that every orifice had teeth. I was like, oh, okay. I was like,
that was horrifying. And it was visual. I was like, oh my god. I was like, why did she put that image in my head?
But when Shorty showed up at the end though, I was just like, here we go.
Hey, shout out Powerhouse Studios.
Yeah.
Bruh.
They knew they was dead wrong
the
for that.
Shot of the transformation from the feet on up to the head. They did that whole thing because they really zoomed in on the baby thigh. It's
when they zoomed in, when she walked into the church, I was like, they know they was wrong. You know, when they was drawing that joint, they was like, watch this, dog, watch this.
It was like, watch me shine right here. Cause she was like, look, real talk, I like her color scheme. Cause the eyes, as evil as they were kind of cute too. Cause of the little pink styling. I'm like, all right, she's girly. She had like natural hair. You know, like she had
natural hair and then natural fire hair, I guess.
Then her fire hair was scary and beautiful at the same time. I'm like, what?
She was a very dopely designed character. Like,
bro, they put some hours on that animation. They were like,
she actually wasn't a pushover either because they were
hell no.
They meaning Richter and Maria, they were taking it to her. Like cause he got some hits off of her. Like even like the combo move with the turtle, right. The turtle uppercut with the tiger. Yeah. Like
and she still shrugged it off.
Yeah, like there was a couple of times when the whip snapped like a piece of her wing and like maybe cut her face a little bit, but like she was still coming at him.
In the dungeon part when she was like about to kill Annette, she was like, "Can I kill her?" Man, she zoomed over so fast and she kicked the hell out that tiger. She's like, "Get out of here!"
Get that tiger.
I'm like, damn, but she rolling like this. I'm like, she got like, and this is, you knew that was like her base form. That wasn't even her beginning form.
Yeah, she ain't even. You have got to see my final form. Like,
Well, she got those. She looked like that chick from that used to fight Wolverine with them claws, so she can tear
Lady
your arms off.
Deathstrike.
oh yeah, Lady Deathstrike, yeah.
Lady Deathstrike, she can fly. She's strong as hell.
But shouts to Annette. Annette didn't falter.
Nope.
She ain't run. When old girl came, Annette straight slammed her down with like some iron gates or something.
She did and
Like
struck it
she
right
turned
off.
the gate around and slammed her in the ground. I was
Boom.
like, dang. I was like, all right, Annette. Annette,
I
look,
wanted
she's
Annette
thinking quick on her feet.
to wrap it around her head and choke her. You know.
Yeah, because having the power of like, I guess you could say basically earth bending to a certain degree. Like
Yeah.
Shorty was coming through with a man. Of course, this is animation. They kept doing the swords because they had already animated those, and it's kind of easy to kind of go back and forth. But she like when she busted that hole in the church, and like that's a huge deal for someone seemingly so small to be able to move something like that. Or like when she created the bridge, like yo,
But
and
to
that
be
came
fair,
through.
though, Annette had to be because Doltra was rolling. Doltra was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to kill you, little girl. Like, you getting on my nerves. Like, all right, like, look, you know, shout out to you. You know, you a fellow sister and all, but I am all in this, I'm a sycophant out here.
I'm
So
out here
doing
for
my
this vampire messiah.
I want this evil world. Now, you know what? Now, can I subscribe the word evil to her, Mark? Can I
Oh
call
yeah, she
her
definitely
evil?
evil.
I mean, she definitely was she wasn't on the old rocks energy.
No.
Well, she kind of was on the old rocks energy, but nonetheless.
She,
I mean,
Old
she wanted to have some of his energy.
oh yeah, she sure
Right,
did.
right.
She did a little grace. She did a little curse. She's like, look, all right. She's like, look, I know we don't agree, but you know, come on, like, what's up? She's like, what's up, player? I see you out here, your French silks. I just try to slide this French silks.
Like, I'm just trying to see what's going on.
They can swap silks later.
Now, I'm gonna go in and take it to the last lady I want to talk about, and in general tonight, Countess. The Countess Vaughn. No, I'm just playing. But just the Countess,
Wow.
aka the Vampire Messiah, aka
The evil lioness.
Sekhmet, pretty much. Let me tell you something about Vampire Messiah's Sekhmet. See, there was a brother by the name of Deacon Frost. He tried this before, all right? He tried this before, and he learned that you can't ice skate uphill, all right? See, and now you gonna have to learn. Now, I mean, of course, you didn't learn this season, but you gonna learn, all right, that you can't ice skate uphill. All right, you gonna take a fall, all right? Because let me put a big. Well, of course, this is the 1700s. Before you know, so I'll say this is the 1700s. So maybe she don't know, but you're not doing this to the whole world. When there's an eclipse, there's only a part of the Earth that this happens to, because like when there's an eclipse, that means that the Earth is in the moon's shadow, which means that there's a whole part of the Earth that's just chilling out with the sun. It's just kicking it. So like, and your daddy's supposed to be the sun god. So like, you should know.
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me talk my nerd. No, just like,
No. You straight. It's just that she know it ain't the whole planet. She just know that these people are simpletons and it's the 1700s and they don't know no better. Cause they think, you know, they probably still, you know, they still think the world is flat, or they don't know about planets. Like the majority of people don't know what stars are in the sense of things, or they think that the Earth is the center of the universe, maybe other than the sun or something. So you know, we ain't far off from those time of days of that thinking.
well, yeah, because people saying the Earth is flat now. So you know what I'm saying? I mean,
only vampires and gods would know the truth, like how Dracula said it was science. Now, even though he was pure, like magical and all that stuff, but he also had a lot of magical science and the pseudoscience to go with it. You know,
True.
when his old lady found him. But yeah, you know, she just ain't she's the type like, look, I'm all powerful. Now, I admit, she just pulled that eclipse out of thin air. Like, what? Like, she could just do
pulled
this.
that joint hard. I was like, oh, hold up.
I'm like, I thought she had to like do something first. She's like, nah, I just want to have a whole party. This chick had a whole soiree.
She had like a I don't know, I guess like a kickoff party for the
A
evil.
whole Vanilla Sky party.
Oh,
just to prove that she could
Sky.
do it. The pain.
Nothing like a do nothing weird movie for people to waste their Hollywood budgets on.
Oh yeah, bro, I was real mad with that movie. I
You know why? The
Yeah,
pain.
anyway.
Me too. I watched it by myself. I think for some reason. I don't know why I did that to myself.
Yeah, I saw it. I remember watching it again to be like, maybe I don't get it. And I was like, no, I get it. This movie is whack.
I was like, this is deep. It's so deep that I'm feeling shallow. Like, what am I missing? Like, I want to feel the deepness of it all and why he fell on that skateboard and what was Tom Cruise doing. I don't know.
Right,
But
man.
what was that mask threw me off? I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that whole anyway. But yeah, Countess, yo, her power was crazy. The way they animated her was crazy too, because
Man.
like even the scene where she was drinking the girl, like where I guess they met her like outside the town or whatever, where her dress was like in a full circle around. That was dope.
Yeah.
Like that was awesome. But
It
I
just
mean,
moved with her. She
It-
floated.
it does a good, or the show does a good job of propping her up as a proper villain, because
Evil.
they threw a lot at that girl.
Bruh,
like,
when
They weren't, I mean, even you had Tera roasted her face, then you had Richter straight up jump up in her face and roast her face, and like she just like absorbed like all that fire. So I don't even know where to go after that.
She was gonna be hell, and she was just being polite when she let Tera escape the first time, because the way them shadow hands dipped out, and like Tera, shout out to Tera. Tera that's action hero stuff. Tera like, I'm gonna just jump out the building because I know what awaits me.
I don't know if she was as powerful then as she is now.
Yeah,
I think Tera was able to get away. I think in that time afterwards, she ate Sekhmet.
Yeah, and shout out. Oh yeah, she did mention that. Shout out to Tera for also saving, releasing her sister's soul. If whatever you subscribe or believe in, she knew.
I release you. You know what I'm saying? She released that soul, and everything was all good, man. Like I will say that is one thing that at least she helped her sister not feel or endure any more pain. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I can give her props for, especially being someone who was alone as far as like one of the speakers. Of course, speakers aren't like vampire hunters, so I mean, she was just kind of doing the best she could. I mean, even going up in that castle or whatever it was on her own, that takes some bravery, some real bravery. So, you know what I'm saying? Tera is not whack. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give her props. You know what I'm saying? I got much love to Tera. You know what I'm saying? She be doing what she gotta do. But is there? I'll throw it to you, Mark Dub. Is there a certain fight scene in this that kind of like really stands apart above any of the other ones for you?
I ain't gonna lie. The first fight scene with Drolta, I was like, man, I said Drolta got hands. Goodness.
Yeah, she's nice with it. And even the way they animated how she was like running and stuff, that was crazy.
And she did it in supermodel bad broad boots the entire time.
True. She's had years to, practice her balance and everything in those things. I gotta give her props for that. I'll say one that I really dug was the one with seeing even though of course this is my Duke's
little power problem.
All good. Seeing my Dukes at the beginning was actually pretty cool as a kickoff for the show. Like, I like that. And then we also got to see Orlox get his fight, Orlox get his fight on. Like, that was something that was cool, especially seeing him change into the dragon. I was like, oh, hold up, we flipping up the styles here. So I like that. And also the impromptu, improvisational fight with, I guess, our fledgling team, I thought was cool. With of course, Edouard, like, yo man, be chill, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, they gonna see us. We supposed to be doing reconnaissance.
Oh yeah, man.
She called Papa Legba real quick.
Can I just say this though? That's one thing that's when you knew there was a little green. I usually would think that most vampires, if you can see them, they can smell you. Like, they should have the sense to do it, which they kind of picked on them anyway. Like, you're supposed to be in hiding way better than that. Like, you just standing up there, like,
well, the only thing I can assume is they have humans there, so maybe they thought they were smelling them, maybe. But I don't know.
I feel like the vampires. Now I will say, I feel like the vampires in the Castlevania before that were more perceptive. Like, you couldn't get close. Like, if they were like a little bit more powerful. But of course, the Marquis, he was a wimp. He was just rich.
Yeah, and they was also feeling themselves out there on the island too.
I mean, and his old lady had a gun. He was a vampire with a gun. It was kind of brutal, but it was kind of cool because she had like nice little pistol with a knife. She like, I'm gonna shoot you and I'm gonna cut you.
Well, I guess it's because it's like, if someone's really close to you, you can get them with the bayonet styles. But if they're far, you can bust shots. I guess it kind of helps. It was stylish. It matched her dress. I mean, even what is it? The predator that John Wick had in chapter 4, they had like a little blade on it. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean, look, I mean, you gotta get multi tools out of this. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you gotta stab and shoot. You gotta stab, shoot. When you're out of bullets,
if you're out of bullets, you just stab people real hard.
Stabby, shooty.
Even when you get kicked down steps in France, like, I don't know, twice, you just get up and just, you just use all your willpower and hate to get up those steps. I mean, you finally died, but at least you did what you had to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or like the toughest month in anyone's life, but because don't get me started on the timeline for John Wick, but no, because it's like the second movie starts directly off of the first one, so it's like, all 4 movies happen within like a month.
All I know, folks, John Wick is nothing but a live action anime. So there you go.
Yeah, enjoy.
Cry to yourself about it. For the people who don't like, anime and be like, ugh. I'm like, okay, John Wick ain't real, y'all. He's not a real boy. He's not a real person.
Not a real boy. Well, you know what? The last person I'll talk about is a real boy. Alucard. This is how you end a season.
Yes.
This is how you close out a season.
So,
you know what I mean?
This is where I wanted to say, since I jumped back in. Now, this is where the Symphony of the Night stuff, like, this is where that really, all this is about to kick off for the next couple of years. Like, this is where I literally told Mike, I said, man, I don't know if Alucard is gonna come. Like, how he gonna come? I said, we ain't got enough time for him, because Alucard fills the room with the charm, the wit, and the killing, because he cold out here. You talk about when
you have like a sword that like either has a mind of its own or that you control through like the illest telekinesis.
He's so cold, he don't have to let blood touch him when he killing. He like Gojo out here. Yeah. Like he you think Alrex look pretty? He like, nope, I'm prettier. I got more Frenchier silks than you, and my sword is cold, and I got a cape. So I'm super out here. Like, I don't touch the ground if I don't want to touch it.
My cape touches the ground, but it don't never be dirty.
Look, it touches the ground, but my feet don't. Like my buckled shoes are shinier than yours. My hair is more laid than you, and I got more ruffles than you.
Hey, he got a finer lace front than Orlox.
Oh, that's cold.
It was like, Orlox, let me show you how it's done, playboy.
Yo, when he came in and killed Drolta, I was like, yo, hold up. Because when it happened, I was like, okay, so who's dead? Like, is Richter? Because I was like, maybe we'll end this season with Richter fatally injured, or not fatally injured, but like mortally injured, where we don't know if he's going to come back. Or I mean, of course he will, but you know, you got the idea like he's really, really hurt, or you know, like did she hit the girl? And then when they did the wide shot with Alucard, I was like, oh, let's go. Let's go.
That was Vampire D pretty. Like when Vampire D caught that arrow and he looked at him like, do you know who I am?
When he caught that arrow and his horse like went up it, man, come on.
Even though technically I guess Vampire D and Alucard is really the same person. So no wonder why they both cold. They really the son of Dracula.
Yeah, because he is Alucard. They just don't call him that.
Yeah, he's just Dracula's kid, or Vampire Dracula, or whatever, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But Alucard is what Dracula spelled backwards.
Yeah.
So he's technically a living embodiment of Dracula, but just happens to fight for the greater purpose. You know,
man, look, Alucard came through, saved everybody. Dean was like, another Belmont. I love his attitude. He was like, well, guess I'm saving y'all again.
And I do love that somebody passed down the myth. Alucard is so damn cool with this myth has been going on forever. It's like, man, you a myth. It's like,
because in the first one, there was a myth of a sleeping soldier. Then now it's just a myth of Alucard. He's like, hold on, you're a real person?
He's like, you actually exist? Like,
but yeah, it's been 300 years, so you know, of course, you're not going to believe. You know, as a kid, you're not going to believe. Sure, mom, sure, dad, yeah, okay. Well, where is he?
Like Trevor and Cypher, of course, I was like, hey man, we was homies with him, and then that goes. The story changes for the while, and maybe he went to go sleep. You know, as they die, he's just hanging. His castle is over the whole Belmont stead. So unless he moved it, which I don't even know if it can.
You know, would have been dope if he was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I brought this for you, man, bro. Look."
Well, see, we gonna get to that. Like, he might. Actually, you know what? I don't know if Richter's whip is the Morningstar whip. He may not have the actual Morningstar yet. Because I think it looked a little different.
I think the Morningstar was with Trevor the last time we saw it.
So he probably buried it in this, as Trevor died. I'm sure Alucard watches over it, and maybe he will bequeath him the Morningstar. And then this is going to be like Richter's training day, because you can't roll with Alucard and not get your hands up.
Oh yeah, he definitely gonna raise his game.
Yeah, like Alucard will kill you himself if he felt the need to do so, or you ain't carrying your weight. Because how many times he almost split Trevor's head? He was like boy, if you don't.
But Trevor did pop him a couple good times. Oh yeah, whip. Like you know what I'm saying, and that was Trevor that was still like down bad. So
like he can't, like Alucard can't train him to use the whip, because the whip can technically kill Alucard. So he shouldn't he can't touch it. I guess he can move it with his mind, if he can even do that. But he could probably cover it some type of way. But I'm just gonna guess that he do not have the actual Morningstar whip. He got a whip and he can.
I think they would have made a bigger deal about it if he did. Like, I think they would have talked about the mythos of it with it. So maybe he will get it from Alucard.
Yeah, because clearly just useless don't have it. So
not useless.
He just has a whip and magic, whatever. But that whip didn't get really powerful till he added magic to it. Now, like in some of the games, more of the Belmonts or people like them start using more like powers like Marie. Like their little I guess you could say, I forgot what they call them, but gifts or animal whatever, and they just kind of fight kind of similar to Alucard, but that's just how the game works. But they probably like are expressing that type of art and magic in a way that the game expressed. So either way, this is, like I say again, the Symphony of Night stuff really starts here, where Richter is going to become the Belmont that he has to become, because Alucard, again, when he pop up, it gets serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no play with Alucard. He ain't got time for that. Like,
he said he ain't got time for that.
Bro, he got to go kill somebody, and then he got to go back to sleep. That's how it works with him.
So, we got a good, what looks to be a good team. We got, of course, Maria. We got Annette. We got Richter. We got the soldier, and I can't remember his name. Then we got Alucard. We have a possible alliance with Orlox.
I think
it's not a bad team.
Yeah, I think Orlox is, if he doesn't get murdered by the Countess, I think he's just gonna be an impartial bystander, or a neutral force of chaos or something. I don't know what to call it. Like, Orlox is so in the middle, he can't.
Yeah, because he didn't directly attack Segment, but he did attack the dudes that were in there, like the kind of like the B squad or whatever.
He gave the book, and he just read the damn book.
But he stayed in shadow when he was attacking those. He was attacking the abbot's creatures.
I mean, she knows.
And he stayed in shadow when he was doing it. So I feel like he was trying to still be a little slick. Like,
she knows.
You can't see me.
Bruh, she know that's him. Like, she ain't even worried about it.
Yeah, because I was wondering if they would know it was him or not. You know?
I mean, I think she gonna know. Because he didn't come running to her side and do like Dotra. At this point, where she running around like a giant, wildebeest, do you look like she want to hear like no? And she said bow. So, yeah,
she was like, I said bow. And he looked, he was like, all right, let me go on. I'm going to tip my head a little bit.
And Dotra is dead, so, she ain't about to be happy. She's about to be ticked the hell off. And then somebody who might kind of can scare some fear into him is Alucard, because he killed his own daddy. Mm-hmm. And even though she probably...
He ain't no slouch.
He ain't no slouch. Now, she might... I don't know if she is strong as Dracula. Probably not, but just different powers or something. So who's to say? But she can probably still kill Alucard, but he can probably help kill her back. However you put it, but either way, you don't want Alucard against you.
Nah, it's not good. So I'll go in and wrap it right here. We've been chilling with y'all for a long time. Look, y'all got a whole bunch, all right? A whole bunch from us. So I'm gonna throw it to Mark Dub. Final thoughts, and where can they find you?
Final thoughts. Who, bro? You always call the right joint, man. You suggested this one. You told me, like, watch this. You're gonna love it, and you were absolutely right. Once again,
you don't even have to wait. I'm like, you can go back and watch the awesomeness.
Yeah, and
get on this.
I binged it and watched the whole thing pretty much overnight. It was excellent. I look forward to the next installment, man. Y'all can find me in these streets. I'm Mark Dub 44 on X, formerly Twitter.
Right.
I'm Mark Dub on IG, and I'm Mark Dub in real life too. So y'all just come holler at me. See me in these streets.
Real Dub is the best dub.
Oh, I love it.
Matter of fact, when's the next event that you're pulling off?
Well, I don't have an event, but someone is having an event. Shout out to Mr. Fluid. Mr. Fluid is having an event at Uppercuts on October 28th.
Okay.
And to pay respect to me and Mike T, aka DJ Soul Lab, and Flood is hosting it, and I found out about this today. So,
all right, okay.
I
That's what I'm
appreciate the
talking
love.
about, man.
I
Yo, gotta get them flowers, yo.
Dope.
That's what it's all about. All right, Coop. Final thoughts. What's up?
Final thoughts, man. First of all, rest in peace to my evil bae, Doltra. I'm gonna miss you. I'm sorry. Old boy had to put the sword. He had to put the sword through you and shrivel you up from all your
Yeah, she was out there looking bad with that shrivel up.
all your evil thickness is gone to the netherworld.
She said evil thickness.
And trust me, you won't be forgotten because you will see this. I promise you. The con circuit. In fact, I found out they making YouTube toys. Guess what form Doltra is in? The N form. So they already got a toy. They got a toy coming in March. So be on the lookout for that.
Now, why are they doing it in March? That's another thing. These toys should be ready when the series drops.
Bruh, I never understood. But they gonna have Doltra. They gonna have Richter, Marie. They're gonna have Edouard in his night creature form. I don't think there's a Annette. I don't know why. I gotta go back and make sure. But if y'all only make it a Annette, y'all bugging. How y'all go? Like, I get it. Have a ward, however you want to have it. I would like to have the opera singer French Silk brother version, but I get it. You got to get how you get it. But I understand why there's gonna be a select few that want the end game version of Doltra. But all jokes aside, this series was this season, bruh, you just like eating, I don't know, like eating a good meal and you can't put the fork down. It's like, it tastes kind of alright, but it's like, I'm gonna be greedy and I'm gonna eat this whole buffet of all this supernatural goodness, and it won't give me the meat sweats at night or something. I don't know.
Not the meat sweats.
It's just gonna feel really good. I'm just gonna fly up in the air. Let me say an old reference like Muttley, and then just like go good. I'm sorry, y'all. That's a very dated reference. I don't care, but that's how good this makes me feel. Like we're in a kind of a miss. Shout out to the Anime's crew. Shout out to Gamma. Shout out to Sherry. We're kind of in a weird vacuum because one of our favorite anime, Zom, is pretty much on indefinite hiatus. It sucks to be a supporting anime fan to anime. Sometimes it hurts. This kind of filled the gap between what we needed, and it's just cool sometimes to be able to absorb a whole show. Now I gotta go find a whole nother couple of shows to fill that gap, but I'm gonna go watch reviews. I'm going to go look more into it. I'm gonna go rewatch the lore. I'm gonna bug Mike and Mark, and I'm gonna send the lore back to them so they can see how this all plays out, because we done already sucked up the whole series. Might as well get some of the lore too, and just see kind of why it's such a Symphony of Night is such a beloved thing. Like, again, that game, that IP created what is the modern day Metroidvania, and including to like inclusion to Metroid and Super Metroid. Like, it is probably one of the best beloved games, period. Not just for PlayStation, not just for whatever. If there's a list of best video games, like say 50 to 100, I promise you, Symphony of the Night is going to be on people's list, if not up there, and like in a top 20. So Alucard is out here. He's cold for a reason. Like Richter is cold for a reason. There's a reason why Richter got put in Smash Brothers along with Simon. You know what I'm saying? They got two Belmonts, and Richter is the other Belmont. So
wow.
There is a reason. So all I'm gonna say is I enjoyed it. Again, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, Mark. I'm glad you jumped into it and to see the goodness of it, because we used to play the games. So he gonna go back. He gonna probably watch the other Castlevania. He gonna have his mind blown again by Trevor's foolishness, and entertained, because Trevor is funny when he wants to be. It's so witty. And they curse a whole lot more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, this one felt like it was a little. Did it feel like it was a smidge more for the shonen crowd? Not say it's adult, but I guess Richter has just that exuberance of youth. So I feel like it's skewed just a smidge more for teens, except for, of course, when you see people suffering with the scourge of slavery.
Also you got you straight up got butt nakedness with your boy.
You're right.
With your boy Prince.
Yeah. But and no rest in peace to Monsieur LeBlanc or whatever his name is. I am so happy. In fact, she gave you a painful death, but I feel like it was too merciless. Too mercy feel for you. But y'all, when you come across your devils and your demons and the people trying to hold you down, don't give them no power. Like, take a lot from Annette, I promise you, especially if you're a black person. Learn a lot from Annette, absorb her story, and I told you about the losers who already hating on her, talking about she the worst part, when she the best part. She's the part that uplift Richter, uplift that family, and save the brother. So with all that said,
because Richter would have been dead out there,
would have been dead in the first frame, but they like, but whatever.
Hateration ain't gonna stop. You know how it is. Like, just even her let me know again, is her Mamba? Was it the priestess? Was it her Mamba? Or
a Mambo?
Mambo. So her Mambo told her they always gonna be like, even when they get their freedom, it don't mean nothing for us.
Shout out to her.
You know what I'm saying? So they always look them WS dudes, they always gonna be around there.
You know, the voice actors killed this all the way around. Everybody came to play, man. Everybody. So, so again, check it out. I'm Keith Cooper. Find me at www.blerd-ish.com. If you hear this before the end of the weekend, sale is up. Of course, we're going to have more sales in October. I don't know the date yet, because sometimes when you affiliate, they play with you, but it's sale, just keep watch. Sales are going to be hitting. Put some new shirts in. Maybe I will try to find some Castlevania shirts. Give it a little love. Of course, my next event will be October the 7th. Makers Fair. If you like robots, people making stuff, crafting, presentations, we're going to have a man with a chainsaw carving blocks into wood art. I kid you not. He is the headliner. I think he carving wood gators out there, smiling at you, might bite you. Come out there and check it out. I'm gonna be selling comics. We're gonna have some of our fellow vendors, like our homie Darylin, selling crafty goods, arts, all that good stuff. Oh, my table mate Calvin will have his table back. He gonna have the One Piece art. Come get you some One Piece art. So, and I guess now, if I got time afterwards, I'm gonna come hang with Mr. Fluid. Maybe I'll bring some comic books there if they don't mind me just swinging through, wrapping up, and see them on the 28th, on the 9th, on the 28th of October. So I'll be doing that too as well. Actually, before that, I'm sorry, I'm getting my days conflicted. 28th, I will be doing another market possibly, but once I finish that market, I'm coming through the barbershop.
Nice.
Bet.
All right, that's what's up. So,
working out here, y'all.
On my end, final thoughts is I've already watched this whole season 3 times. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, because it's like a movie. If you think since Netflix allows you to skip, I can. Since the episode is only like 23 minutes,
Mike with the
put that together,
it's
like a movie.
Skip.
Yo, man, look, skip them credits. You know what I'm saying? I'll watch the credits when I really, really need to know who someone is. But besides that, skip them joints. There won't no post credits, so you gotta worry about it. Just go and skip it through. Watch this thing straight through 3 times. I love this. When it comes to supernatural action, supernatural horror, I'm there. So the only thing I can say is, please do not make us wait for these next seasons. Go on and animate. Just hurry up. All right.
Yo, I will put 5 on it if you need to. Like, just whatever you need to do for
let's
for these animators.
This was great.
I hope Powerhouse is a true powerhouse with the money, and they can give them. I understand if it got to be like a 6-month break or something, but we don't need no year. I need this before the next Halloween. I need this by, honestly, if you can bring this by spring, by April, June. Bring this back into summer. Make this a summer hit. Like you ain't got no competition, Netflix, man. Look, Marvel and them are behind. You punched them in the gut. You took their lunch money. You dropped this at the right time. Clearly it's critically acclaimed. 51% of losers out there. I need y'all to get y'all weight up and get your brains up.
Yeah, they always gonna be whack.
Just get your hate down.
Get your hate down.
You can't save them.
Get your hate down, then we can get somewhere. Cause this was excellent, man.
Realness from the real dub.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So pretty much I've watched this 3 times. I'm gonna go in and watch the other Castlevania too. I'm gonna enjoy that. And we got some heat on these streets once again. Vampire Hunter D, you know what I'm saying? I got that message from Mars, but yo man, what y'all doing? Cause you know what I'm saying, Castlevania out here. They out here ruling. The last movie y'all dropped was like what, 2002 or something like that? When was Bloodlust? Like,
man, that was at the turn of 200s when Axe body spray was still popping.
Oh, now when Axe body spray was still popping. Let me search real quick. See, Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust. Let's see.
That's like
the year 2000. Come on, y'all.
Before I graduated college. In fact, when I just started college, just about.
Bruh, come on, y'all. Come on now.
Turn of the century.
We almost 25 years from that thing. Now, of course, I'm gonna do a look back, maybe a watch along party for the anniversary.
Absolutely.
But come on, y'all. It's been 25 years. Where y'all at? All y'all had was a comic book since then.
Man,
like, come on, man.
Shout out to Wakanda Moon. When we used to do when Anime-ish was a movie watch along in the flesh, they came down all the way from New Orleans to watch that movie with us, and we had
to come and show love, man.
Show that love.
That's the Wakanda Moon, man.
Wakanda Moon. They no longer live in New Orleans. Shout out, they in Dallas, they in Atlanta. Life has changed and things have moved on as they progress, but they still dope ladies. Blurred women out there. I love them dearly. I wish they was back here. Just shout out to them because that was one of my favorite moments of Blerd-ish, honestly.
You know what? We're gonna have to get them on the show and do and chill. We gotta do some virtual stuff.
Man, look, they watch a lot of anime. It'd be great to have them on.
Look, man, they dope. But dope sisters, man. With that said, man, look, Castlevania is that heat. Best video game adaptation at this time, and then behind that, I think I'm the only person that likes it, but the Halo show, I enjoy it, but Castlevania is definitely top notch. It's the best one.
I forgot Halo was a thing. But
yeah, I think I'm the only person that liked the show. Everybody else was hating it. But with that said, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. We love all y'all. And just remember, keep your neck protected. You know what I'm saying? The Wu-Tang said it best. Just look, because you never know who's out there. You know what I'm saying? You walking down a dark alley, you trying to mind your business after leaving the pub, and next thing you know, some super pale lady trying to bite your neck. You know what I'm saying? Got to keep your peripherals up. You know what I'm saying? Keep that head on a swivel. And until next time, this is from us to you saying, peace.
Death to all shady blue bloods.
Blue bloods gotta go.
Gotta go. Get the guillotine for them.
Yup.